Okay, well, let's stick with our top story this morning, the aftermath of Cyclone Idai in southeast Africa. Now, the UN says it could rank as one of the worst weather-related disasters ever to hit the southern hemisphere. The storm started as a tropical depression 2 weeks ago in the Mozambique Channel. It made landfall near the town of Beira in Mozambique last Thursday with winds of more than 100 miles an hour. It then hit Zimbabwe and Malawi. We've been speaking to World Food Programme representatives who are in Beira, and we asked them to talk to us this morning, but the infrastructure in the town has been so badly damaged that there isn't even any mobile phone signal for a phone call. So we're going to talk to Hervé Verhuzel, who's the senior spokesperson for the WFP in Geneva. Hervé, thanks a lot for joining us this morning. Talking to your people who are on the ground in Beira, what's the situation there now?
The situation is basically catastrophic. After analyzing of the satellite image, we estimate that 1.7 million people in Mozambique alone were directly on the path of the cyclone. You see water for miles and miles inside of the country, houses, infrastructure, everything is done. The situation is really, really bad.
Okay, so what are the main concerns at the moment? I mean, there's still floodwater, there's still rain, flooding. What are the main concerns for the people right now?
But that's still rain, and like Sky Weather Forecast has just told us, more rain is coming in the coming days. The main problem now is access to those people. Those people have no telephone, no cell phone. A lot of people are on the top of the roof with water all around them and are waiting for an helicopter or a boat to come to rescue them. They have no clean water, they have no food, they have no place to sleep. Basically, they are nothing anymore. We need a huge amount of help. The UN World Food Programme has already 1 helicopter there. 2 other helicopters are on the way. We have sent the first cargo plane with 20,000 tons of food. 2 other planes are on their way also. I mean, we need a huge amount of money, of people, and of material to help those people.
Hervé, when you're in that kind of a situation where you've still got people trapped out in rural areas, let alone in Beira, what are the first things that you're doing? What are your colleagues there doing?
But basically try to find those people. Then we have our boat pilots with boats going basically to try to save them. We have helicopters to try to take them from the rooftop. And then after you try to save people, which is the first thing to do, then you start feeding people that you can have access to.
Okay, 1.7 million people you projected were in that path. How many of those people do you think that you've got to so far?
That's very difficult to say. What we estimate for the moment, those numbers are changing day after day. Then I will be take those numbers with caution. But we estimate that today 600,000 people have no food basically and need urgently food. But all those numbers are honestly changing day by day. I will say by the hour, because we have no infrastructure, because we have no access and no communication. The assessments are very difficult. Then we don't realize yet completely the scale of the problem everywhere in the country.
We're looking at pictures of Beira now that your colleagues provided us. If that is the situation in Beira, it looks like, and from what we're hearing, a huge part of that town has been destroyed. What do you think the situation is like in rural areas? I mean, do you have any idea?
In a rural area, it's basically the sea. An ocean. You have water everywhere. Then you see sometimes the rooftop with suddenly 20 people on the top of the rooftop waiting to wave to an helicopter or to see a boat coming. I mean, the devastation is incredible. We will take weeks and weeks probably to reach all the regions in the country and to provide food for those people. That's why more people and more attention is needed right now.
Tell me, the country, the region, I mean, it is, you know, no stranger to cyclones. Is it equipped to deal with something of this size and this severity?
The severity is huge. I mean, our colleagues from the World Meteorological Organization have said that it is probably the worst cyclone in decades in that part of the continent. We were sending people already for the World Food Programme in Beira and in Mozambique before the cyclone on Thursday last week. But now we realize that much more people are needed because the scale is really, really big and sadly surprising.
What is going to happen to these people? Because in Beira, there are reports that the schools have been destroyed, the hospital has been destroyed. Yes, you're dealing with the immediate after effects, but in the future, what is going to happen to this town? Will they be able to rebuild? These are already impoverished people here.
You will need to rebuild everywhere, all the infrastructure. People will need to start by rebuilding their own houses, then the infrastructure, the access to clean water, the full industry, the full economy will need to restart. Farmers have lost everything. Then, of course, the food in the coming months and years will be affected also by the production of food will be affected by that cyclone. Basically, they will need to restart from scratch. That will be very difficult for those people, and that's why international support is necessary.
What sort of international support, Hervé? In the short and sorry to interrupt. In the short and in the long term, what do you need?
First, we need money, and with the money, we will buy food, and we will help to rebuild the infrastructure. People have no place to sleep. Shelter is necessary. Of course, you will start to have disease linked to the presence of the water, from malaria to other disease. We will start to sadly kill people in the coming days, probably. Then that money will be spent between the rescue, the food, the medicine, the shelter, all the first and urgent need. And after that, you need to think about the reconstruction. New houses, new school, new hospitals, new economy. The port of Beira, for example, who's the biggest port in Mozambique, is completely destroyed. The port is technically working, but all the infrastructure of the port is destroyed. I mean, that will be a huge, huge work for weeks and months.
Okay. Hervé Verheuzel from the UN's World Food Programme. Thank you so much for talking to us this morning.
Thank you, Kimberly.
The United States National Security Advisor John Bolton has urged Britain to get on with Brexit.